I got to build speaker mounts. I just really wanted to drive it, so I'll do those later. G29 steering wheel. I know most people that have rigs like this get better steering wheels and stuff, but I'm pretty happy with it right now. I came from a G27. Got a Marantz head unit. Again, need to make some speaker mounts over here. I have a subwoofer. This is just kind of half-ass Velcroed on. Subwoofer. And then I have my control module for my actuators. 150 millimeter actuators. This is just a racing seat from Summit Racing. Just one of the cheap models. 6-speed shifter. CPU. 3. These are just actually TVs. I think they're, I don't know. I want to say they're 40 inches, but honestly, I just don't remember. I'm using the 1070 GeForce Founders Edition video card. And let's see here. We'll run Sim Commander. Check. And I also have just a Turtle Beach headset from when my kids asleep. Can't be. Oh, seat's calibrating. There we go. And I use iRacing on this particular model. Might try some others later, but I don't know. Pretty happy with iRacing. Lots of aluminum diamond plate. Got all my steel from Alro Metal. I probably have about, I don't know, $400 in raw steel. For my swivel, I'd seen online a lot of people were using, I don't know, bits out of drive shafts and stuff. This is a 1/2 inch swivel from a ratchet. And what I have it mounted to here is a 1/2 inch socket that I didn't need anymore. So I welded this socket to the frame, and then this swivel right here, and then the top part of the swivel up here on the seat, it's welded to the seat. And when I'm ready to pull the seat off, I just snatch it off and it disconnects like a regular socket. Now, this stabilizing bar here, I need to do a little more, I don't know, I haven't quite gotten it sorted out. I need to put some Loctite on there and then a few spacers, because if I crank it all the way down, then it doesn't have the travel that I need. So I think I'm going to get a longer bolt, some spacers, raise this up to where it's a little bit more on the same kind of, what I should say, the parallel plane, I suppose. So it's not at quite an angle at rest. So I'm going to bring the bar up to here, try to bring that down a little bit, get it a little bit more of a flat angle, flat plane, and I think it'll work a lot better. This whole bit right here that holds the steering wheel, I took because when you buy the seat, it comes with adjustment rails. So I took the adjustment rails off the seat, and then they're bolted to the bottom of this. Now I still need to build or just attach some kind of a lever right here so I can hit it with my foot, and then you can bring the whole pedal and steering wheel assembly back and forth. So if you got someone of different heights wanting to play, then you can accommodate those guys. Back here for my TV mounts, this is all just inch steel, square steel. And I've somewhat built a hinge mechanism here. I welded a couple of nuts here with screws running through. So if I were to loosen these and these down here, then you could pull this whole piece out and disconnect the monitor on this side. And then, you know, if I keep these just a little bit loose, then I can change my adjustment angle if I want to. I usually keep them in as much as I can. I've been having some problems getting my the bezel compensation taken care of. So I mean, the monitor is actually behind the other one, and that works really well. I'm not going to complain about that at all. It seems to work nicely. I can't really get back here to show you anything, but. So the monitors are attached. This is a 2-inch steel frame, and again welded here at the bottom. So the body of the machine is separate from the steel frame, and once you get this adjusted where you want it, and then I just kind of push the whole body so it's as close as I can get it to the monitors. If I wanted to move this, it's a bear to move, it really is, but it will come apart in 6 pieces. Because I can take the monitors out, you have 1 and then 2 pieces here. The third piece, the monitor, is going to be attached to the tubular frame. This piece is going to come completely off because I got 4 bolts at the bottom. This whole steering assembly is going to come out. And then if I take the actuators off at the bottom, and because of my 1/2-inch drive there, then this whole piece here is going to lift right out. So it comes out in 6 pieces. It's pretty nice. If I have to move it, but I don't plan on moving it for a very long time. Unless you want to give me a whole shitload of money, I'll sell it to you. And then my TV tray to hold my beer and my mouse. I had considered putting some kind of maybe taking the top of this, putting it on some kind of a swivel, but you know, that would require me taking it back down in the garage, more welding, fabricating, so I'd rather just leave my $12 TV tray there. It works fine. I'm not going to complain about it. So, but that is it. I modeled this after the CXC. I didn't have any dimensions, so I literally was looking at a small 4x6 picture and drew my dimensions, what I thought they would be. So it took about a month of cutting and welding, and I got it all together. A few adjustments here and there. The biggest part was getting the length from here to here correct, because there's no way to, you know, these are 150 millimeter actuators. I didn't really use any math to get my angle, so it took me about 3 times of cutting and welding to get these points where I wanted them. I originally had them way up here, like the CXC is, but then that put my seat back almost straight up and down, and it was a little bit nauseating driving it around and very uncomfortable. Then I moved it about down to here, and then I moved it back. Well, it would have been easier if I had some adjustment on these bars right here, but there is no adjustment. Unless I cut them apart and welded them, which I really didn't want to do. I'd rather cut and weld something that I made versus something that's factory. So, but that's it. I'm really happy with it. It's a lot of fun to drive. Eventually I will probably upgrade the steering, shifter, and pedals, but it's not something I'm going to do right now. I'm more or less satisfied with the performance of the G29, so I'm just going to leave that as is for now. I would like to have a bigger steering wheel, but again, I'm not going to mess with it. And like every single button you need is on this steering wheel. It'd be too much fabricating and wiring to to redo all that, so I'm just not going to mess with it. I did have the PC inside, down under here. It was completely encased, so you couldn't get to it. But I had a button here that I'd made. It was almost like a start button. It was really neat. But I had a PC failure, so I pulled the PC out. I didn't bother to hook up the button, and I just put the PC over here out of the way. I do have an Xbox controller hooked up to it. I've been playing Skyrim on triple screens, and it's pretty cool too, to be completely honest. So, all right, cool. Well, hey, thanks for looking at this video. I know I was probably rambling there a little bit, but I just wanted to show everybody what I had going on. And maybe I'll see you on iRacing. I'll see you later. Bye.